Well, I think with regard to our game Saturday night against ULM, I thought we were, because we had a bye week the week before, I thought we were well rested. I thought we had a good week of practice. I thought we were well prepared. Going into the game, though, we are usually pretty good with regards to defensive adjustments. We usually are pretty good with regard to ball security, and we've done a good job with regards to few penalties. Well, Saturday night, we didn't do a good job with regards to our adjustments on defense. They averaged 7 yards a carry against us, rushing. The quarterback completed 73% of his passes. From an offensive perspective, we had 4 fumbles. We had 3 turnovers, and we had close to 80 yards in penalties. Now, that's not what we normally do. Now, having said that, if I looked at those stats and didn't know who were playing, I would assume that team would definitely lose the game. However, I think that Matt Viator and the guy, I think he and his staff want to do a great job preparing their guys. I think they came down, they were ready to play. They really didn't make mistakes. They were physical on defense. They did a good job breaking to the ball. They were a good job. They wound up doing a good job against us on offense. So you got to give credit to ULM and the job that the staff did, and frankly, the effort that their kids put in.
Thank you, Coach. Our first questions come from Whitney Hayworth with Sunbelt Digital Network. Whitney, please go ahead.
Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Morning, Whitney. Fine, thank you.
You obviously just touched on some of the adjustments that needed to be made against the game against ULM that were not. So as you move forward into this week against UMass, how do you approach practice to get those things fixed and fix them quickly?
Well, I think that really begins on Sunday. It's really from the staff. The kids are off on Sunday, but from a staff perspective, I think too often too many staffs put such great emphasis on game plans, and the reality is it's your mistakes that the mistakes are the reasons why you would lose a game. So our entire emphasis was what would be, and you can't try to fix everything. So we have actually, we call a BAM process. You prioritize what your issues are. So if you got 10 mistakes, what are the 1 or 2 that mattered really, really the most? Because frankly, you can't fix 10. And there's a danger that you're going to do a good job of 7, 8, 9, 10, and you're not doing a good job of the 1 and 2, which would really matter the most. Then you've got to analyze and understand why you had those problems, because if you don't understand why you had the problem, you can't fix it. Then you go through a solution phase. Can you come up with an answer to that? Can you solve that? And then the way you test yourself on that is, frankly, is it fixed in practice? How do you? So is your player executing without you telling him what he was supposed to do prior to the snap, or even after the snap, you correct him and then you run it again? They always get that right. So the entire emphasis yesterday was on that process. And that was everything that we were doing with our guys today.
And as you look ahead to UMass, what have you seen from them, a team that you all beat last year, but a team that's also given Sunbelt teams a problem in the past?
No, I think they're a good football team. I think USF is a good football team. They played them a couple of weeks ago and did well against them, and that's one of the top 25 teams in the country. UMass has had a week off. I think I'm aware of the fact that we beat them a year ago, but that was opening game, and frankly, I don't think I would have put much credence on that if we had won or lost that game. So I think they're effective on offense. I think they're effective on defense. I think they're effective as far as the special teams go. They haven't gotten off to a great start as far as record goes, but certainly they're going to be a very, very, very worthy adversary.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Whitney.
Thank you, Whitney. Our next questions come from Dan McDonald with The Advocate. Dan, please go ahead.
Morning, Coach. Can you talk a little bit about the process and improvements that Bryce Carpenter has made since he had to step in?
Yes, Dan. I think number one, it takes a little while for a young kid to be able to really learn the offense. We got a little bit of a head start because he started in January. I think he better understands the offense each week, and I think he's really made a great contribution to the team. I think this past Saturday night, I think he had trouble with some of the decisions he makes, and then there were a handful of passes that, frankly, he normally makes. I mean, going into the game, he completed like 73% of his passes, and there were a number of passes that he normally makes that he didn't come close to hitting the receiver. So he was off, and he ran hard. And he worked hard and wanted to do a good job, and he still made some plays. But some of his decisions were a little bit more like a true rookie would make, and he simply wasn't sharp when he was throwing the ball. But having said that, we totally believe that, you know, Bryce is a very, very good football player, and he's a good quarterback, but he needs to learn.
Appreciate it, Coach.